The Rise of Africa, the continent, the diaspora, and BRICS explores the relationships that are affecting the global economy right now. This book explores the relationships of the African diaspora's influence on the African continent and why this is important in stabilizing relationships with an understanding of how BRICS impacts the future, good or bad. You can order your copy of The Rise of Africa today on Amazon.com.
Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. The reason that I can say that is you have a couple of different factors occurring right now as we speak on the world stage. The dollar is being disrupted. Nations are no longer wanting to engage with the United States. But the third factor that affects each and every one of us is that there is a diaspora from the African continent that's willing and able to engage our brothers and sisters on the continent.
Shalom, salama, siemi, shalom. Greetings to all of my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world, whether you're the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you are a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. I welcome you this morning. This is the day that Yahuwah has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. You know, when we go through problems, when we go through trials, because we're going to have trials of this life, that's expected. But there's a way for us to get through our trials quicker than what we normally realize. We get through our trials by giving him praise. We have to give Yahusha praise. That's what glorifies Yah. And as I wake up this morning, I was thinking about some different things. As it's cold here where I'm at, which means it is freezing in icebox all up and down the East Coast. And it's not freezing, it's still cold, it's 38 degrees. That's for Florida, that's still cold. For Tampa, that's still cold. But I want us to consider this little bit of an analysis. And I said I was going to bring this in yesterday because I wanted to talk about not from the standpoint of glorifying this judgment. I don't want us to do that. And I pray that we don't do that because there's an element when you do glorify destruction. Guess what? The Most High will turn that same destruction on you. So, brothers and sisters, please, please, I'm begging you, do not glory or revel in their destruction, but have that as a teaching point of why they are going through this. Have that as a teaching point. And an understanding of what we're getting ready to see here in these next couple of weeks, possibly even couple of days. And some countries have even said in the next couple of hours. My contention is this. My contention is that the world is a stage. Shout out to Minister Yakoba because I would not have really thought about the 2 and 2. Taylor and Yakoba brought that to light. And I was looking at something the other day. Shout out to Sister Shar. You can check her out, Judge Shar. Judge Shar. The name of her platform. And she had stated something very, very prolific. She stated, what we do as a people, we will self medicate through isolation, and then we get lost in the programming through TV, media, things of that nature. When we're not able to truly engage within the family dynamic. And I would argue that this is the same dynamic that we're seeing here in the United States. Folks have not been able to really engage and understand what's happening because when I listen to these channels that try to provide some sort of biblical analysis and some sort of contemporary understanding, it all seems to turn left. It all seems to, it's good analysis. They're kind of on the path, and then they just roll right over into the cliff. And I have to understand why they have it. I don't just I'm not satisfied with it's just the way it is. No, what I'm satisfied is with satisfied with is the fact that when we examine that to try to help them understand what it is that they are doing, and honestly, I like to see and watch and understand how they analyze things because I'm telling you, what we see from them is a direct reflection of the attitude of what we saw from our ancestors before we went into captivity. That is what I would argue. We're seeing the exact same thing that had been played out with us. We're seeing the exact same thing of how our minds and our attitudes and how we related to the rest of the world played out with our ancestors. How we treated one another and how the nations, yeah, they conspired. And as they conspired, they wanted to make sure that we were no more in remembrance. And they pretty much carried out all that they rose to do. But I want to show some images here. This was played. This is in California, and I want to kind of give this as a bit of a backdrop because this picture to me was very interesting. Let me show you. That's not a firework. That's not a rocket. That's not a glitch. I don't believe that's a spotlight. I'm not sure. But that was going on over the one of the fires. And the reason I say that is because a couple of weeks ago, we were dealing with UFOs, UAPs, drones, you name it. And now we're dealing with very, very chaotic scenes. And I'm going to present this. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. I'm not praying against anything. This is the Most High's will. But I'm not going to, but be aware to not revel in it. I'm just saying, I don't want those curses to come back on us. But thank you, Father. Hallelujah. Yeah, I dropped that link so y'all can see where I'm coming from. Hollywood Reporter. They have the picture of the fire burning in Sunset Boulevard. And as I was going through these pictures, you have cars on fire. You have, here's the thing. When people say, I'm just going to up and get up on out of here. And you know what? This was reminiscent of the scenes off of different movies, Volcano and other Hollywood movies, maybe almost 20 years ago. I remember watching with Tommy Lee Jones, Volcano. And it's all everything that deals with fires and stuff like that happened to be set in, LA. And people may wonder, with an image like this, how do you just have cars being piled up? How do you just have cars that's just, sitting there on the roads as you're trying to evacuate? And the simple reality is that the conditions become so bad on the ground that your car cannot move. Your vehicle will not be able to move. And as I was thinking about those things, my mind raced back to the Civil War movie back last year, and the reporters were driving through the fire. They were driving through a forest that had been set on fire. But I would argue that looking at this, you're not going to be driving anywhere because what was happening was that rubber was melting on those tires. The rubber was melting on the tires. So imagine you're getting out because now, number one, the car's not working because it's really not drivable because of the rubber. And I would imagine that there's going to be other systems and electrical outages that would succumb to that amount of heat. But this wasn't really the highways. These were the back roads just to evacuate their neighborhoods. That's what I'm saying. They couldn't even get to the highways because they couldn't get out of their neighborhoods. My question, that I want to have answered, and I may not, what happened to the people that were in those vehicles? Were they able to escape? Or were they engulfed in flames? These are the questions that I have to ask. Now, the reason I had this as biblical Game of Thrones, because right now it is dry and windy with fire going on in the west, and in the east, there's still a lot of snow and ice on the ground with cold. You don't drive at night. You try to avoid driving at night. Because why? Because whatever melted by the sun will refreeze. So I look at this because as a whole, there's an economic effort that's going on as we see different things happening in the world. Yes, yeah, and I'm reading you all's comments. Yeah, the Malibu fire, yeah, it was burning up celebrities' homes. And yeah, for living room, yes, winter is definitely here. And yes, Mamosha Yahoo, they did cancel insurance policies regarding fire. Now, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but that's a little bit odd to me. And they're saying the same thing happened in Hawaii. I was looking at some of the videos that were highlighting that. So now, understandably, in a time where the debt ceiling is going to creep up next week, we're in that time range between the 14th and the 23rd. And now you have a state of emergency. And that state of emergency is to try to provide some sort of assistance through FEMA. And within less than 6 months, you had a couple of disasters on the East Coast, and now this is a disaster on the West Coast, and that disaster's still going on. It's still going on. I don't know if it's a directed energy weapon. I don't know. But what I did think about when you hear a lot of these other folks talking, about this and that, and then they try to throw on, Christ will save you and this and that, and they don't really give any type of biblical analysis to this. People ask, this is the thing that really always perturbs me. It gets me upset. When people ask, why is this happening to us? Why is this going on? This shouldn't happen to us. And it goes way beyond Jeremiah 51. We just covered that last week. Now it's going and it's out of our hands because folks are trying to figure out they're in tribulation. Tribulation's going to be a period here, a period there. See, the problem that when you talk about Eurocentrics and Eurocentrism, it's central, me, me. And shout out to Truth Unedited. Is it episode 14 or 15? Testing Christianity. When you have a doctrine that has promoted self, then you can't realize what it is that's been happening because all you look at is you. Oh, don't worry. we know that those so-called black folks fulfill everything with the transatlantic slave trade and being shipped off to the four corners of the earth and going into captivity and being found amongst and in every nation. That's why it's called an African diaspora. That's why they don't even like to talk about the sixth region of the African Union. Yeah, we weren't there by choice of the matter. A lot of our people weren't just saying, you know what, let's just go and explore these lands and settle and stay there. That was not their choice. There was a origin story of how our people got there. There was an origin story of how our people had made it there. And usually in that story, it was because number one, they got kicked out the land, and also they had served a strange gods, or their god got jealous, so they had to flee. And as they fled, they were captured because that tradition would then carry down because the phenotypes would not necessarily match the phenotypes of that indigenous people. And that's usually the typical story that they provide when you actually have reporting done in a fair and unbiased, balanced approach, because they don't want that to get on out to people, because then people will start to see a pattern. And then people will start to realize that there was a pattern that started back in Rome and it continued to this very day. The other day I was looking at our favorite Gentile, and he was asking the question, okay, Black Hebrew movement, why this? Why that when it comes to this slave trade in Libya? And it's like, well, why are you asking if you don't want to get understanding in the answer? See, they can ask the question all they want, but if they truly don't have a heart to understand, that would then cause repentance and to understand the truth, then to even answer the question is throwing the pearls to the swine. And I would argue that the more that they see this going on, it's the more that they have to be humbled, because as they see this nation burning, as they see this nation going through these irregular seasons, as they're seeing more of these things that are being done in the natural, it was fine and dandy when this was going on in Greece. It was fine and dandy when you saw these fires in Turkey and these earthquakes going on in China and Tibet and all these other places, in Indonesia. But again, in an area like LA, I'm not just concerned about the fire, I'm also concerned about the earthquakes. So then people would ask, well, Brother Karras, what does this have to do with the biblical Game of Thrones? Well, And Game of Thrones, it was a series that, showed the mystical Middle Earth and how there was in the Red Keep a family that had usurped authority, and then they began to run amok. And as they began to run amok, they were unleashing all sorts of other supernatural beings. The supernatural beings were dragons and ice creatures, fire and ice. So the original book for Game of Thrones was actually called the Ballad of Fire and Ice, or Ice and Fire, one of those, and it had been adapted to the HBO um, series. But I have to think about that because when you're seeing the biblical Game of Thrones, right, nothing was stopping this nation except for this nation. Nothing was stopping that kingdom except for that kingdom. Because there had been a line and a dynasty that was granted to that line that controlled and had supernatural powers to guard their dominion. But the more that they went through that family line, the more corrupt that family line had been. And at the end of their corruption, they had killed off the family line, except for the son and daughter. On the other side of that, because there was spiritual things happening with everything being usurped, there were other principalities beyond the ice wall. Hint, hint, beyond the ice wall. And those principalities were being stirred up, causing different things to happen to the land, causing the land to be unusable, causing people to have famine and drought. Does that make sense? I believe that they were showing the predictive programming a couple of years in advance, and a lot of us to cope and look at sci-fi and all of these other different, you know, entertainment streams. We really didn't understand what it was that they were seeing or showing us, because what that was, it was, hey, everybody should have seen this. Everyone was talking about this. If you didn't get that analogy, if you couldn't put two and two together, if you didn't understand these dark sentences, look, every movie that we see has some sort of a dark sentence. I showed you in the movie, it's your fault that you didn't get it. Can you make it plain? No, we're not required to make it plain. All we're required to do is release it in whatever form we choose. And if you get it, you get it. And here's the thing, they can argue, if you all are the people, then guess what? You should be able to pull a Daniel. You should be able to pull a Joseph. You should be able to interpret the dreams and interpret the seasons and have an understanding of how to prepare. If you claim to be the people of the book, if you claim to be the children of Israel, then make it known and make it clear to us. See, that was the indictment. Because at that time, we weren't ready to really wake up and understand what was going on. Not where we're at today. Not in the context of where we're at today. I would press I would clarify that statement. Because now where we're at today, folks are grasping at their straws of, well, I'm a Moor, well, I'm a Kemet, and I'm a this, and I'm that, and my knowledge goes deeper and longer, and all of these other things. And it's like, okay, I get it, I understand it, because yeah, technically they're correct in their position. However, when you take a look at the body of that work, it's highly, highly off. I get it. Yes. You had Egypt, you had a formal religious system and a formal religious structure that all of the Greeks and the Romans went to. Because why? Because all they were trying to do was say, I am going to make their captivity work better for me, better than what anything could have been done in the Egyptian, in the Babylonian, and in the Greek captivities. And all that did was transfer to Rome, and all Rome did was transform itself. Because Rome was smart about how they managed it. They were smart about how they were managing the throne. They were smart about how they looked at decentralization, but it really served a central figure. You may have decentralization, but you had all of these other odd pockets and other shadowy organizations and other groups that all supported the same throne. And we, at one point in time, were all an agency and had aligned even to that construct, even if it was at our own demise. Because why? Because we did not know any better. I know I didn't. But in order for us to have known, we had to ask the right questions. And in order for us to ask the right questions, we needed to be able to tap into the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, and we needed to be able to cope with the answer that the Most High had given us. There are folks that accept the answer, and there are folks that run away from it. In 2016, there was an answer, an audible one, but I had run away from it till around 2018. And my running away was to research and disprove and dispel. No, we can't be the people. No, that's not it. No, that we're just getting targeted because, this is just racism, right? It was easy topical answers. It's just because we get comfortable with easy topical answers rather than asking the Most High, Father, reveal to us. We get comfortable with itchy ears. We all do. We'll get comfortable with a lie. Well, it doesn't require me to do much, so I'll go with that. And that was all of us. And honestly, that's now still a large part of our families. But now that they see some things happening around the world, well, they're now being more amenable to getting an understanding, especially in my family. My family, they listen. Okay, Karis, you're on to something now. Karis, tell me a little bit about tell me, I'm trying to understand. And those condescending conversations have now become conversations of actual interest because now folks are seeing this thing happening and now they're trying to really address the questions that's not being addressed. Because I'm telling you, everything we do when we are praying about the situation, when we are praying about what's happening, the Most High will answer. And as he answers, a lot of folks will shy away. I get it, but I just want to be on that path, that wider path, because that wider path, as Elon had even stated it himself. This is a tweet from Elon Musk. He stated that sucker himself. I got to find that tweet. He said, why is everybody afraid of hell? He said, I think hell would be fun. He said, you have more people there. If you understand the Bible, you know what? If I were a Eurocentric believer, what he said, I would be rattled. I would have been rattled. What? You know what? He's right. He is right. He is absolutely right. What do I need to do so I'm not ending up in that place of judgment? What do I need to do so I'm not going to a place? Look, you think that these folks make and have their billions for just because happenstance? Yeah, there's a tweet. There's a there's a there's a post. I saw that in the Tail Ministries live post. I wish I had it. And yes, that's exactly right, Brother Garth. They were speaking curses on themselves. Agree with the curse. Agree that, yeah, you're going to be going straight to the same pit. Because why? Because you're not even doing what Yahuwah, the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Elohim of Israel, has even prescribed, because you're doing something completely way off base. You're doing something that was created through philosophical rhetoric and ramblings and red herrings and Hegelian dialect to do what? To deceive the very elect. And they can't even understand how they've been deceived. And then we provide not just scriptural evidence, but we also provide historical evidence. And these folks, they act like they don't know history. I've always been here in America. Don't talk to me about DNA. I just thought it was a coinkydink. And we may laugh, we may think that that's funny. It kind of is, but that is their idea of escapism, escaping the truth, escaping what is being done and what has been done and what's being done currently. Did they shut down the stream? Give me a one if you still hear me. I think I'm good. I don't think I got any. Yeah, I think I'm good. I haven't got anything from YouTube. You gotta remember, family, those fires are in California and YouTube is up there, so there may be a little bit of some buffering action. Yeah, y'all are coming in. There you go. Thank you, family. I appreciate you all coming in here with me and just listening to the rambles of an orange mane. Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah, they don't like this. They don't like this. Yeah, that was definitely YouTube on that one. I'm sorry. They don't, yeah. Yeah, no, you actually do get kicked out. You'll get kicked out at about 9 o'clock. So thank you, family. You do get kicked. There are certain gates, and when we talk about this, they don't like that. I hit them with some algorithm busters when you talk about Game of Thrones and everything else. They don't like when you're actually live streaming, and it's not live. It's us live streaming and providing biblical context. They don't like this. Shalom, brother Garth.
Shalom, brother Karis. How are you doing? I'm trying to stay warm. It's 20
trying to
degrees
talk.
in New Jersey, but
You're
it
trying to
feels
burn
like
some
summer.
calories. Trying to get your mind off of some things. You're going into YouTube live stream escapism.
Yeah, I'll probably be back and forth because I'm like still working out and trying to post stuff on for my Faith and Fitness by Garth channel. Shameless plug, but
No, it's not
honestly,
a shameless plug. I'm sorry. It is not a shameless plug because um look at that. Your
yeah.
car, your vehicle may not get you to where you need to go. You better have legs. You better have legs. You better have your body right. You better have your nutrition to where you need to go. You better have legs.
Shalom, brother Eric.
Come on, brother Eric. You're on in the background. You turn. Yeah, got the echo. There you go. Where you need to go. You better have legs.
Shalom, brother Eric.
Shalom, brother Eric. You're on in the background.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shalom, Hebrews. How are you, Brother Karis, Brother Garth? How you guys doing?
Blessed and highly favored.
Blessed and highly favored. What's going on, guys? Blessings to the chat.
Oh, well,
Shalom, everyone.
hey, shalom,
Shalom,
rebel.
shalom, my long lost Israelite sister.
I know I've been away. My kids have been sick and everything. It's been the mist. I don't know if everybody's seen those videos going around where everybody's been talking about this fog that's everywhere. But yeah, it affected us as well. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I had a little bit of a head cold, like a little bit of a sinus infection for a minute. I was able to get it clear. I had some echinacea. This is not medical advice, but I had echinacea, mullein tea, honey, and
Drops?
colloidal silver.
The echinacea drops?
No, it was like the tablet, so I had the tablet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I have the drops.
Mm-hmm.
I always keep forgetting to put it in my
So,
Brother Karis, I ordered two books.
Yeah, go ahead.
I ordered two of your books, one hard cover, one soft cover. I'm gonna give a soft cover away. I like to keep my stuff, nice and neat. I'm a neat freak, so I'm gonna keep the hard cover for myself.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you for your support, brother Eric.
Always. I mean, I was serious when I said, I wanted to wait, but I gotta support the family regardless. So
I definitely appreciate it.
You can sign my copy for me.
Yeah, whenever I'm in New York, I have family over there in Long Island. So whenever I make a visit, I got your email. I'll hit you on up.
Great.
But yeah, but I wanted to come back to here because I want you all to think about this, right? When the accusations were leveled, and you all know what I'm talking about, most of you all, folks, that the other day, and it was
I'm gonna be honest
slavery.
with you. I stay out of foolishness, especially amongst our family. I don't try when I see stuff that's on, like I caught myself getting into a debate the other couple of weeks ago on Sister E's channel, and it wasn't even a purpose. The brother said something about the chat, and that's what triggered me. Otherwise, I would have never even went on there. But I pretty much stay away from the back and forth.
No, this was on a Gentile channel.
Okay.
Yeah, because I like this Gentile. I'm not. Hey, listen.
Yeah,
he comes through with some stuff.
I'm praying for Paul, man. He knows we're in tribulation.
We praying for Paul. We praying for
traitors,
Paul.
every single one of you. Traitors, stone him.
We're praying for him because and it is you have to get that understanding, man. Listen, the West destabilized Libya, and they have been destabilizing parts of Ethiopia and Sudan and all these other places. And what do you think they're doing? They're running to get through Libya because Egypt is locked down. And then they're running right into the slave trade. And whose fault is that? Well, the slave trade is there because y'all done took out Muammar Gaddafi. So are you going to get then mad and say what's going on? Because here's the thing, and I wanted to show this image. Shalom, brother Yakoba, Salama, because there was an image in here as I was looking at this earlier. It looked like the ruins. Yep, I'm getting to it.
Shalom, brother Yakoba.
This thing looked like the ruins from Gaza. I'm gonna get to this. Let me. Oh, did I miss it? I think I missed it. It looked like ruins from Gaza. The way that it was so bad. The buildings have been so gutted. I'll have to find.
Where is it?
This is all in California.
What?
Yes, this is happening right now as we speak.
Yeah.
That looks like the set of Terminator 2.
No, it is not the set of
this is
Terminator 2.
California.
This is called California right now.
Southern California.
That looks like Judgment Day. That looks like Judgment Day.
Yeah,
It is.
Mhm.
I mean, all the people who've reported this is like, oh, this is apocalyptic. Yeah,
and it's going
apocalyptic.
after all them expensive houses that they have.
Yes, it is. Oh my goodness. You know what? I saw that on I think I was watching the Weather Channel. And the Weather Channel was showing that. Those things were gutted. And I was trying to find a picture of that. Here. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I'm gonna share this real quick.
What's his face was recording it, James Woods. If you all know who James Woods is.
Yeah.
He was recording his house
Brian.
on fire. And then they showed some other guy literally.
Don't they always go after James Woods on Family Guy? I'm just saying. I'm like, what?
They do.
Oh boy.
This is fun. I'm not saying anything. I'm gonna keep quiet.
Brother Yakoba, shalom. Just by having you on my channel.
Shalom, brother
I'm
Yakoba.
guilty by association with
Bro, all I hear is Yakoba say, "I told you, I told you." Oh my gosh, this is yeah, Garth. This is apocalyptic. Yeah, see, I can say it.
Sister Chantel, I'm not gonna say nothing.
You don't have to. Your body of work speaks for itself.
So, brother Yakob, I bought 2 of your books. The hard I got the hard copy, and the same thing I did with brother Karras. I got a hard copy, and it hasn't come yet, but I ordered it.
Thanks for your support.
Always,
One
bro.
thing for sure, we're gonna have to take them books and run out of here.
I know. I know.
Oh gosh.
You know, it's interesting that people still don't realize what's happening. Because I was just reading Revelation 18, and it was saying, "Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall utterly be burned with fire." I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. Are we there? We gonna find out.
Well, the famine is coming
because he's getting out of work, boy.
Because the ports are shutting down soon this month.
Next week. And
well, hopefully I gotta don't shut it down before I leave. I'm going on vacation. Let me leave. They can shut it down.
Well, hopefully you get to vacation. You get on your vacation before the 15th.
And if it's sail to the continent, I ain't gonna be mad.
Listen. Honestly, I think
a one-way vacation.
Think about that. Could that be a setup of a potential? They're shutting down the ports, quote unquote, right? To potentially bring in ships.
Regardless of whether that is the case, all I see is just prophecy being fulfilled. I just don't understand how people can't see it. But I think people just want to cling to. They need. Remember, like they kept saying, all we need to do is just do this, and everything will all go back to normal. That's what they're hoping. They want that so badly, including our people who are still being oppressed. And I'm like, the normal for us was literally deleting us. So I just don't. Yakoba, I just want to say this. Every time you use the word, the Jamaicans did it. I was like, oh, you wounded me. Stop, please. Not all of us.
Well, that's a specific group of Jamaicans, not all Jamaicans.
Yeah.
I know. But it hurt. But I was like, I accept.
But if you didn't know that, you'd be like, oh God damn.
I'm turning off this Negro. I'm not having nothing to do with this person. Who is he?
I understood what
I didn't know what else to I didn't know what else to classify them as because I didn't want to use their names. But since they were Jamaicans, I referred to them as the Jamaicans, right? Because I didn't know what else to classify them as.
No, listen, it's cool. It's cool. It was funny, but it hurt. I'm not gonna lie. It was
You know
funny.
I love you, Sister Chantel.
I know. And I'm half Jamaican, half Asian, so you know it's all right.
Let go of these titles. We're all Judah. Come on, everyone.
I know.
Thank you.
Of course, exactly.
I know.
I just want to know the title when I go to the continent and I know what restaurant I'm eating at. That's the only title I want to know. That's it. Oh, it's a Jamaican restaurant? Oh, okay.
Want some ackee and saltfish, some patty, some Jamaican patty.
Look, give me some Jamaican food and give me some Ethiopian food. I'm good.
I told you,
chicken, rice, and peas.
Up, man. I'm gonna hook you up. I had my wife hook you up with some crazy oxtail, boy.
Oh.
You know, I never had oxtail, but I sure want some.
Okay,
Brother Yakoba, I'm gonna tell you, you need to eat some oxtail.
Oh, I know it. It look good.
Oh my goodness. I
like curry goat.
I'm gonna be grabbing a little. My sister, her sister is coming in tomorrow, and I'm gonna go hook up with I'm gonna go to this roadie place because she like when she get off the plane, she like for me to hand her a roadie, so I'll be hitting that spot a little later on. But yeah, funny you mentioned that.
Well, I wanna show some images. Shalom, brother Fast Nickel.
Shalom. I'm not gonna be here long. I just wanted to say I was watching Dabu 7 last night, and he was showing proof that all of those fires in California they were set up because the insurance companies were warned, and they targeted all the families that lived in the area of the fires. They canceled their insurance right before the fires. So all those people don't have fire insurance because they want to take that land.
But didn't you say this is where the you know, the higher echelons, the wealthier are living? That's their land?
Not just them. I mean, there's a variety of people that live in that area. Like there was a family, like they had a report. There was a 90-year-old couple who lived in their home for 75 years, and they've had insurance all that time with the same company, and all of a sudden the insurance company canceled their insurance right before the fires. And so Dabu 7 was showing online reports where these insurance agencies they targeted the homes in these areas, and they canceled their insurance right before these fires started.
That's very evil.
So they were tipped off.
It's like the further this goes in, sorry, Jacob, I was just going to say, the further this goes in, the more evil people are becoming, especially these large corporations. You're really starting to see the mask slipping off.
So then we got this front coming, right? I'm in the way. I'm in Dallas, and it's supposed to be real cold and freezing. I hope the power don't get knocked out, but I'm convinced that this is the beginning of major catastrophes all over America. That's what I think will happen, because the Bible tells us to flee from the plagues that's coming and look like they're about to arrive.
It's freezing here as well. I'm not even going to lie. It is absolutely freezing. I'm actually having noodle soup. It's that cold.
The wind hasn't stopped blowing since at least a week now. Straight wind.
My brother Eric, oh my gosh, that wind.
Crazy.
Right? Oh my gosh. I can't even go outside, or like if I'm going outside, I'm just literally going to where I need to go. It's that cold. I can't stand it.
So the question that I have with this, when people say, especially in the Eurocentric circles, well, what did we do, right, to do all this. And I always have to go back to here. This is a picture of Gaza. That's a picture of Gaza. You know, I don't care what you think about them, good, bad, or indifferent, but it is, look, you're gonna reap what you sow.
There's no difference between the
Remember,
two.
a lot of those, the Palisades and Brentwood. You know, it's dumb folks. You know, they getting what they gave. They're reaping what they sowed.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And again, what, $2 to $11 million homes? Like, man, we got homes here in Tampa that don't even cost that much. And they're not going to be rebuilt. I had a conversation that, and this person was adamant. Oh, you don't know anything about insurance. They're going to have their stuff recovered and stuff like that. And I understood because, you know, that person owned a home here in Tampa. And what would that say if the insurance companies failed? And how would that look for if something were to happen to their house? And then you're out of the house. You're confident, your hope. Because this is the hope that they have in their own arm. This is Jeremiah 51. There are folks that are still trying to sue these insurance companies here in Florida, thinking that they're not going to get, they may not get a dime. They literally said, we can't pay you anything. And you want to know what was happening? All the homes that got their roofs ripped off because of the hurricane, if it rained inside, guess what the insurance companies were saying? We can't cover your home because your home is flooded. So you need to have flood insurance. From the rain getting inside your home.
Wow, they're really bad.
You know what that reminds me of, Brother Garrett? If you read the Apocrypha, I think it's maybe Jasher Jubilees, when they literally have, I think it's like a 2 or 3 chapter story when they talk about a man who went into Sodom and Gomorrah, and this guy basically finagled him or bamboozled him or hoodwinked him out of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the judge was wicked. He said, I forgot, the land of the law was just so wicked that there was no justice. And, that was basically a precursor as to why the Most High destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. And it's kind of funny because Hollywood and LA is basically the Sodom and Gomorrah. And I don't really see, all those nice Hollywood big blockbuster movies that we're all looking forward to. It's all a wrap. How are they going to rebuild this stuff?
Yeah, it reminds me of all the stuff that they used to do to us. I remember they had this situation where people wanted to vote, and they would go up to the city hall, and they would tell us, you have to guess how many marbles is in this jar, and if you don't get it right, you can't vote. All this craftiness and all this wickedness, being held in derision. Well, now the Most High is holding them in derision. All that is, they can't recover their homes and their property. The insurance ain't covering it. The same craftiness that they put on us is now going on them.
Y'all notice with all of this that's happening, we have Trump saying he's gonna take Canada, he's gonna take Greenland, he's gonna take Panama, right? And now we have this ice storm that's coming. We have the fires, we got earthquakes. I'm like, okay, what's next before we have to leave? I'm like, because if this keeps increasing the way it looks like, nobody's gonna make it, or we're leaving, right? Which they call the flee doctrine, which I get accused of, but that's in the Bible.
It's funny you said that Trump said he's going to take Canada, he's going to take all these different places, and it's like the colonizer just hasn't changed. And it literally says in Revelation that their sins are going to reach his throne. It's like, how you are being judged not because you look, the Most High is fair and he's just. He's doing to them exactly how he treated us. He's allowing you to continue. You have every opportunity to change. The problem is that the scripture says you won't change. You won't change. And the only reason why the Most High is making an allowance for us is simply because he made a covenant with us. He didn't break the covenant. We broke it. He still has to stand by what he put down. Just like the ancient kings of old, once they made that seal, once that seal was seared into the document, they never broke it. They could not break it. And the Most High cannot break it. So he has to do what he said he has to do. So he's doing it for his benefit, not for ours. We deserve what we're getting. We deserve it. But the fact is that they are now receiving everything. They've just copied us, but they've gone beyond anything we could have ever done, because we basically did what we did to each other and offended the Most High. They've gone beyond that. They offended the Most High in the worst way. They've taken his image and they twisted it. We did the same thing with the golden calf, but they've done that and they've used that as a means to commit violence across the whole earth, using that image. And therefore, because of that image, they've set themselves up as God. So, yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing that Christians don't understand is the idea of covenant, which is why, they say no more Jew Greek. They don't understand that the covenant is with us and the Most High, with our family and him. And he's not going to break his covenant. And that's why Christianity is a religion, because they make up stuff as they go and build a whole bunch of dogma,
And what's funny? Because I was watching our Maple Leaf brother. He literally said this is like the end of soft power, but at the same time we're losing hard power. So it's like, what, because we used to be able to just look at our army and look at all our bases. Do you really want to mess with us? But now that all is going, that's all being lost. And I think we spoke about that, Karis, where
yes, we
Trump
did.
is giving them that delusion that they still have this power to just go and pillage the earth and be the hammer of the earth, but that's been taken away from them.
What happens when the animal is mortally wounded?
Your hammer is broken.
The animal has to latch out. He has to lash out at anything and anybody. This was what Rome was trying to do: expand, and then it all collapsed because they were trying to expand so much that they couldn't manage what they had in their internal areas. And even Rome fell apart. Italy fell apart. People don't realize that that Italy, the Turin states, all these other places really weren't a recognized state or entity until like the 1860s.
You mean a complete country?
A complete country. Absolutely. It was not.
What people also fail to understand is that this collapse that we're seeing, what you just described, is also it's the same collapse of their God. It's their monetary system. They created this bubble, this fiat currency, and they've pumped and blown it up so much that it has to collapse. It will collapse. I know that they're going to keep pumping and they're going to try and do whatever they can, but it's not going to. What happens when nobody accepts it anymore? It's done. It's over and done with. And we're seeing the rest of the world is literally dropping the dollar. Like, yeah, I don't want it no more.
Here's the video. I want to show this. This is the video. This looked like an absolute war zone. This was the video. I'm trying to, I can't really expand it in Instagram.
You mean that's not Syria?
That's what I'm saying. That doesn't look like Palestine or Syria, like,
Yeah.
That thing looks like an absolute war zone.
Yeah, if you didn't tell me, in fact, that's where I thought it was. I didn't know that was. Yeah, I did not know. That looks. Oh my gosh, that looks terrible.
That's crazy, isn't it? That's
Wow, look
crazy.
at that. You're seeing the bare bones of these buildings and cars.
And the crazy thing is, this is still going on even today. This is still happening even right now. That's all they have on the Weather Channel. That
Yeah, I was just
and
watching.
go ahead.
No, I was just saying. You're right. I was just watching. I mean, also from. Let me see how long I've been up. Anyway, for the last couple of hours, that's all I've been watching. And it's reaching closer to Brentwood. You know, that's where they demolished O.J. Simpson's house, right? Okay. They think the Most High forgot about all their wickedness.
I'm just have to ask all of our Cali brothers and sisters, how far is this fire away from y'all? And do you all have an evacuation plan?
There's no escape. There's no escape. Even if the winds die down, they were saying it was the winds are like 10 miles an hour, 9 miles an hour, not like the other day when it was like up 40, 50, 60 miles an hour. When they say peace and safety, them winds is going to pick up again.
Yeah, yeah. They're already saying it was like going to be about like 35 to 40 miles an hour. This is crazy.
So with all of the companies and businesses shutting down, and I think that's probably part of the reason with the insurance not covering things. I mean, well, they didn't want to have to pay out, but they also know that something's coming and there's a shift. Just like I mentioned, even with the cryptocurrencies, right? We're going into a new digital system. We're going into a new economic system, which is why even Trump, he's so, as somebody said, a Nero type figure now, right? He's coming in here with, very bold and cocky, and because he knows he's gonna start some mess. And I'm gonna say this: did y'all hear about the black folks, the young teenagers who's disappearing in Canada?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
There's something. So some young teenagers, they've been disappearing in Canada. What part was it? I forgot. Was it
Was
I forgot what part of Canada?
I just heard you say in Canada. I didn't hear what town.
I didn't know. Yeah. Usually a lot of us
Canada,
are in Toronto, area.
What's the one with a Q? I think it's a Q.
Quebec.
Quebec. That's it. I think it was Quebec. And so we got all this stuff. We got the UAPs, UFOs. We got all this stuff. I'm like, if people still don't see hashtag ain't no 400-year prophecy, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Trump actually did make some bold declarations. He was even talking about, going after Greenland because Hollywood movie, Greenland. I mean, come on now. I'm like, all right.
Didn't he call Canada a state? Which really peed off Trudeau.
Yeah, he wants to take over Mexico. Cuba's already gone. He can't take over Cuba. Cuba's now BRICS. Did you know that? Cuba's BRICS.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Cuba's now.
And not only that, we have our brothers on the continent saying bye, France.
Oh yeah. France getting big.
Karis.
Yep.
Do you remember what I've said? I've said this so many times. I haven't said it recently, but I always used to say, America is going to find herself surrounded, and while she's looking over at Mexico and everywhere else, she ain't seeing what Canada's doing. She ain't going to see how Canada's going to have the knife behind her back.
I already think Canada's had the knife behind its back with China. I already believe that, and that was already said a couple of years ago. I think in 2022. So they're already there. It's just the fact that Trump is trying to come in because the way he's coming in about this, if they don't have a debt ceiling, deal. Well, here's the thing. How are you going to get more? How are we going to push more debt? You just can't. Because countries are already saying you're not going to pay back the debt that you already have. What are you going to do? Fight? Well, I can't pay it back, so now I'm just going to delete you all. Okay, that's the way to pay to go after your creditors.
Just all I've just seen is like Goodfellas or something like that, or Sopranos just blowing up somebody's car. That's America.
He's from New York. He's from New York.
There you go.
You know, they weren't lying about some mafia ties. You don't get to where you're at in New York without any type of mafia ties. That's just how it goes. Am I wrong, brother Eric?
If you don't have my money by noon, you'll be swimming with the fishes.
You're absolutely right.
So, Sister Chantel, what's happening over there by you? Any crazy stuff?
I wouldn't know. Aside from the fact that what's his face? What's his name again?
You're gonna be okay.
Bill Gates was booed and jeered and told to that he needs to be arrested over here. I saw that. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
something that the Brits have done me proud about.
I was about to say that video that Karis just showed is literally one of the videos. I was like in shock and awe. I'm like, you just literally chose to die or delete yourself.
Do y'all remember that
movie in that house?
Oh, right, the one I was just showing. You want me to?
You remember that movie Constantine? That reminds me of that movie Constantine.
Let me show that one again. Yo, why are you taking YouTube or a video? You're hanging
exactly like, bro.
This is the end for me.
Like,
what is that?
That's insane.
That's not.
Is that somebody's?
There.
Is that real? Is that somebody's house?
That's real.
That's him.
For real.
Yeah.
I thought this was from a movie.
No.
I thought this was your own little cutaway.
No.
Are you
real? They're
you know there are Gentiles staying up in that house because like no.
House. No, that thing is nice looking, but it's all.
You're a nut job. Why would you stay there? Oh my gosh, you're an idiot.
You know why? Because
that's hell.
He a government op. That's why he's filming this to create the scare and increase the fear. That's what it is.
That's literally, you see a ball of fire. Nobody in their right mind. Why are you there? Like, dude, oh my gosh. And even your daughter's like, oh, can we leave now, please?
They probably think that they had some like flame retardant, exterior and things of that nature with the house being built. They always try to.
That's surround sound hell. Look at that. He's just. But
he could die from smoke inhalation by
exactly. Yep. Exactly. You don't have to burn.
Just the heat alone. The flames don't even have to get him. The heat alone could kill him.
Exactly. Yep. Them soldiers died when they tried to put those Israelites in there.
Mm-hmm.
I told y'all 2025 gonna be very interesting.
It certainly is. Look at that, great balls of fire.
My goodness. Yeah. No, that was.
We're gonna take the TV.
She said she thought that was green screen. No, it was those fools recording their last moments.
I wonder if they made it out or something. Like,
how are you gonna go outside? So I don't even want to know what the other side of the house is looking like.
The minute you open that door, it's over anyway.
Yeah, you're going into an 8,000 degree oven.
And don't y'all think he was a bit too calm?
Yeah, that's
way too calm.
He was like, "It's over for me." He made his peace.
That damn dog.
Mama, I love you. Pacific Palisades holding it down.
He's gonna roast looking just at like him. Christmas turkey.
And the dog looking at him like, when you get me out of here, bro?
That dog is like, face. Why was I stuck with the stupid one?
Look at that dog's face. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, but you know what they did? They probably, if there was alcohol in there, they had a few shots. And then just succumbed. That because Now think about this. Oh, he did make it out. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So,
He may and making it out, he may have had to run. When they saw that,
how?
they may have had to run.
Do you think he had a blanket over him, wet the blanket, put it
And
over him, and then ran outside?
what are you gonna do with that dog? You gonna have the dog's paws just being burnt up? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Hey,
he would have left that dog.
animal cruelty right there. Come on, boy.
They always like to die for their dog in the movies, but I kind of feel like that's not the truth. You would leave that animal. Come on now. Let's not.
You know how many
Nah,
dogs
they
and
love
cats
their
probably
dogs.
got
Now.
burnt
They
up?
love their dogs.
Yeah, I know they do, but I mean, that's hell. That is hell right there.
I agree with Eric. They're gonna die for that dog, but they'll let you die.
Yeah.
That's
Now
true.
I've seen videos. They got out the car. They got out the car with the dogs. They got out the car with their dogs, and they were all just fleeing, and then they were getting their cars bulldozed. They were bulldozing the cars.
Pixie Dust said something, and the dogs always get off. In the film, the dogs always survive, but they're the ones that die.
Because they're the small ones. The dog.
Exactly.
If you don't know what to do, follow the dog. Just follow the dog. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that to me, that was very that's telling. Now there are some folks, they were trying to stay there to the very end. You have 5 people die, and you know that there's more.
What? I'm so, what? They.
That's like
I don't want to laugh, but
it was in Paradise, California. What was that? 2017, 2018?
Yeah.
Yes. And everything was burnt. Everything man-made was burnt, but the trees hurt not the trees.
Oh yeah. The trees
So
got
what's
burnt
gonna
up
happen
in this.
after January 20th?
I think it's gonna get ratcheted up even more.
Yep, me too.
Well, I wanted to ask this. Iran had come on out and stated that that they have something else up their sleeves, and that they're getting ready to commence Operation True Promise #3. Do you think that they'll do that, or do you think that they'll wait till after Trump gets in office?
Well, real quick about the dog and his owner. If that was Shaggy and Scooby, Zoink Scoob, it's like an oven in here. We gotta get out of here. But I think they'll do it before, because they already know that once Trump gets into office, he literally just said, all hell will break loose. All hell will break loose. I mean, this dude is literally telling you, I'm out of breath because I'm working out, but this dude is literally telling you he's the last president you're going to vote for.
He did
Literally,
say
when
that.
he's in office, all hell's going to break loose. So, I mean, with Trump, you know how it literally that rhetoric where he's like, oh, I like him. He's honest. He speaks his mind. But now he really is speaking his mind, and you're not listening.
I remember when he ran the first time, he literally read this poem. He read it twice, and I'm gonna paraphrase when he says, when it talks about how you knew he was the snake when he I wish you can bring that up.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
He read that poem twice. He said you knew I was a snake when you voted for me.
That is so true. I forgot all about that, brother Eric. I forgot about that. We're in some trouble.
Trouble. Got to do the Players Club, because now you're in LA. Got to do the play. Oh my goodness. Exodus is near says, my cousin's husband's aunt's house burned down yesterday, and my friend lost his house yesterday. Wow.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. We're praying for our brothers and sisters on out there. We're praying for our family on out
So
there.
think of this. If this increases in severity, these plagues, are we not going to flee? I mean, where you going to go? You ain't going to have no house. Where you gonna go? You gonna go to the FEMA camps?
Man, you know, on a brighter note, Ibrahim Traore was up there in Ghana.
In Ghana.
Yep. And recently he was having the invitation. He was having the invitation for African Americans and Jamaicans
to come back home.
Come back home.
You hear that, Yacoba? You hear that? And Jamaicans.
Wait, Brother Yacoba, remember, Brother Yacoba.
Sister Chantel ain't gonna let me live this one down.
Nope.
Never.
Yo, but brother Yacoba, if you was on the other end when you were saying the Jamaicans,
I was getting lashed. Oh, I was getting lashed. The whip.
I could see that, but I figured y'all could understand.
No,
it was
no, we know. We get it. We get it. We get it.
Understood.
We get it.
But if you didn't understand,
I got you. If you came in and you didn't really get the context and everything, yeah, you could.
If any Jamaicans come in, they'd come in and be like, "Oh, what is?" And then
they'd be ready. They'd be ready. They'd be ready to cut me.
They would with their big machete. Come, let me cut on. Come. Yeah. Yes, Uncle. We felt the pain. It was like.
It just reminds me of when they were in Civil War and who was it? Was it the Benjamites were fighting against all of Israel? And like, you know, and then literally I feel like it was also like in Gilead, it was like the Manassites and like the, you know, Ephraimites, and they were like, say this, and if you say it like this, we'll know you're an Ephraimite, and if you say it like that, we'll know you're from Manasseh. So I mean, I just know that we're family because we still have these stupid, I'm not gonna say stupid, but these contentions are real because we literally vexed each other. And that, but you know, like literally, I forgot, you know, it's literally because Joseph had the birthright and then Judah has the rulership, and literally we vexed each other over that. And it's like now the Most High is making it clear that he's going to restore us and we're not going to vex each other anymore. So I understand.
I hung my head down yesterday. I'm telling you, my head was hung. I was like, okay, I understand. It hurt, but it needed to be said because, to be honest with you, you're not saying anything that we haven't already said about Jamaica, about the Jamaicans. Yeah, so
and there are other
that's
islands.
Gonna be a me. I need to put down a T-shirt. When we leave, I'll put down on the T-shirt the Jamaicans. And I'll put down. I'll get somebody to do the what's his face is Huey's face looking really, you know, snarled and angry, pointing the Jamaicans. Yeah, like that.
But you know, if y'all said them New Orleanians, I wouldn't take it personal. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, you know.
Hey, listen, man. It don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. Well, it means what it means because that I agree with you. You didn't want to say who their name was, and the only thing you could say was the Jamaicans. Yeah. So you said it. And you know what? It's not even what you said, it's how you said it. It was like,
well, you know what? I know I could see that. I could see that. But you know, for me, when I looked into the evidence and saw that they weren't even the ones who affected and they making claims against people who not even making complaints themselves and destroying T3 and them business and name, you know, that's why it's like, I guess I said it with such emphasis, not that Jamaicans, you know, plural, you know, you all, but, you know, just those two that was involved that cool, really shouldn't have been a part of it, you know?
Yeah, no, we get it. Because I can't remember who just said it, but somebody said, but some people like to say them Black Americans. So I get it. We do that. It's Esau's tactics. We've been divided and conquered. And yeah, also they wouldn't have known how to do that if we first didn't show them how to do that, as Brother Garth was saying as well. So
well, we have to But here's the thing: we have to take the lead in terms of being able to operate with our brothers and sisters in grace, right? This is a new experience for all of us as we are working with our brothers and sisters. I mean, literally working. You know, there's going to be different things that go on. There's going to be different experiences. There's going to be different agendas, right? But we have to be able to come together and then really sit down and be honest about what it is that's being said and why it's being said. Look, we may not get the info right away, but that's for the Most High to disclose it, right? It's the Most High, and He will disclose everything in His timing. That's just how that goes. But current status wanted me to go back here. Shout out Sean in the chat. Dropped the link, and this is so understand. Trump wants to fight Iran. That came out of his mouth. He wants to go to war. He's ready to throw down. I don't know how you're going to do it, but other than a massive air campaign, you know. But
he's got beef with them as well because, or they've got beef with him because he did what he did to their beloved general, so they haven't forgotten that.
What anime is this, Karis? No, I'm joking.
You know, and I have some theories as to why this is why he pleads guilty.
Well, yeah. So here's the thing. So it says here, Yakuza crime boss pleads guilty in the U.S. to trying to sell Iran nuclear material. These to me are red herring articles, and I'm gonna expose this. I'll show you this here in a little bit. Because number one, if I'll go into the article just to read just to go through what they're trying to say. A leader of Japan's Yakuza crime syndicate who tried to sell Iran weapons-grade plutonium has pleaded guilty to charges of trafficking narcotics, weapons, and nuclear material. To Takeshi Ebisawa of Japan entered his guilty plea Wednesday in a Manhattan courtroom. And my thing is, how did he get in possession of nuclear material? You know what I'm saying? How? Can it be done?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's just the you know how they do, like when they wanted to persecute us, they say we were animals and said we were heathens. That's what they're doing, right? So they're doing this as their prerequisites for invading Iran, right? Weapons of mass destruction all over again. That's what I think it is.
Exactly. They'll start leaking these little news articles because they leak them on these are the lower end, right? Websites, these lower end news articles. And then they start to get picked up by the AP, by, Reuters, and then others because they're making their campaign. So you're telling me now, January 9th, what, 12, 11 days before? Oh, and Iran is this, and there's an article there. You got to understand, even not just media, but legacy media, that's the fifth estate. That's the fifth estate of any type of empire, any type of government. That's how that goes. They'll say the media is fair and free until they begin having major dissent.
And not only that, Iran was close, according to them, to having nuclear grade material already.
Anyway.
So if that's the case, why did they need to go to this Yakuza guy? And why not go to the North Koreans or the Chinese or the Pakistanis or somebody like that? I'm like, this don't make any sense.
Look, let me share this, because this is just right here on Twitter, okay? This only confirms Iran has several or severely limited military capabilities to defend or project its regional agenda, Whatever remains of Iran's nuclear program needs to be destroyed, and I fully support efforts to do so. I don't ever believe anything from the Times of that place. But yeah, But here are these little, anecdotes, challenges posed by Iran's expanding nuclear program and its support for regional armed factions. I look at it like this. You're seeing all of this because here's the thing. Oh, and I wanted to get that story on up there. And I have to find out if it's actually factual. Hindustan Times was reporting this. That the Houthis hit the USS Harry S. Truman. Houthis hit the USS Harry S. Truman. Harry S. Truman is a dedicated vessel. It's a dedicated naval vessel that is in those waters, particularly the Red Sea and other locations there within the region. Now, I'm not sure about the reporting, but when Hindustan Times had said it, usually, I don't know about you all, First Post, Hindustan Times, Times of India, they usually on it.
Yep, those are literally the least biased, most partial media outlets. I mean,
very accurate as well.
I use it to do Exploring the Motherland every Friday at 10 a.m. They are great resources, but yeah, that is definitely the place to go to because everything is so biased. And literally, I remember looking up the Ivory Coast story, and they didn't, disseminate it till like 2 weeks later, on Western news outlets.
So what does that mean? That Europe is getting cut off. Europe is getting cut off as we speak, as these cold temperatures are coming through. It's going to look bad. And now couple that with a potential port strike in less than a week. Where's the gas going to come from to Europe? I mean, you all get what I'm saying? Think about that perfect storm.
I think all of these plagues that are going to be happening, I think when we was looking into it, when we first woke up and everything, we didn't realize how man-made they were going to be.
Mm-hmm.
We knew they were going to happen. We just didn't know how it was going to happen. The Most High's telling us. But because, especially when you come out of of church, which spiritualizes everything, you just see it as these plagues raining down from God up above. You don't actually understand the human element to these things. So the Most High is just telling us what's going to happen. But he's also telling us, I'm allowing it to happen. I'm putting it into their hearts to do this. But you see that this is a very human, orchestrated famine. And everything else that we have been going through was orchestrated by human beings.
Here we go. Oh my goodness. Sister Barbara, we are going to be praying for your family.
Oh.
We are going to be praying for your daughter. We are going to be keeping her up in prayer. And all of our brothers and sisters that are currently serving, they are in harm's way right now. So Sister Barbara says, when was this, Brother Karras? My daughter had been serving on the Harry S. Truman when she was in the Navy during the early 2000s. I hope I misread that. I hope she's not on the Harry S. Truman now.
Yeah, I think you missed. I think she's saying that she used to serve. I don't think she's currently serving.
Now they will have contractors and things on board, They will have contractors on board on those vessels. Okay, so that's not a far equation. Um, but yeah, no, this has been happening, and just to give you just personal insight, when I was in and understanding, the Houthis, them Houthis don't care. Them Houthis don't care. You want to know why them Houthis don't care? Listen, do you hear any type of beef between the Houthis and Saudi Arabia? When was the last beef you heard between the Houthis and Saudi Arabia? Probably not for a while. Since 2023. Actually, it was 2022, and then they finalized their ceasefire in 2023.
Their sights have turned to bigger fish.
Well, no, they refitted. I think that's what it was. They refitted, and Saudi, they didn't want any more. They said we had enough. And the reason that happened was because that was the play that the Saudis had. Hey, let's act like we're going to go into BRICS. Remember, Saudi got the invite to go into BRICS, Saudi Arabia. And then Saudi Arabia said, well, we don't feel comfortable with going into BRICS right now at this time, but we're going to fully support efforts. Remember, they said that was back in October 24th, right there in Kazan, because they showed up and they said, hey, it sounds great, but, we're still tied. We're still tied to, this West, but we're going to support, right? So they tried to give the decency of, look, we would want to, but, I'm not trying to get deleted. That was really the position that they were trying to say. They didn't want to have, Saudi didn't want that smoke. Exactly. So that was how they were backing out, and trying to remain look. They just want to be a Switzerland now of the Middle East. I'm not trying to do nothing. You can use some bases, but we're going to limit you. It really did sour relations because what they thought that they were going to get some, superior armament, superior training, and, other military material and intel and operation support, and that never materialized. It did not materialize. And yes, the Houthis won the war against the West via Saudi Arabia, and not just Saudi Arabia, UAE. And UAE had already began to cool because UAE said, you know what, we're jumping all the way in. Forget this. This hurt us too much. And a lot of folks don't understand that UAE and Iran have a lot of financial dealings. Yes, they do. There are a lot of Iranians in UAE. And this was even before they joined BRICS. So what do you think is happening with UAE afterwards? So now Trump, because you have UAE, you have Saudi, right? Well, who does that affect? That affects Qatar, a major U.S. ally. And Qatar saying, look, we're not having any of that mess either. And on Qatar is the U.S.'s largest Air Force base in the Middle East, Al Udeid. The largest. I'm telling you, that sucker's huge. I've been there a couple of times. It's huge. And if they're having those type of issues and contentions, then if they lose Al Udeid, then guess what? They don't have really an air presence. Because even when you hear Saudi Arabia, look, they're not even trying to allow any type of overflight to get over into Iran. That's done. Iraqis got mad that their airspace was violated by that Eastern Mediterranean nation. And Brother Eric brought up something very, very awesome earlier in the chat, Brother Sean in the chat. He brought up something very interesting because we had talked about this. We talked about this back last month in December when we were talking about Syria. Remember what I said about Syria? I said if Syria is, legit and everybody's behind it and everything else, yada, 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 I said, then, folks will be they'll figure this thing on out. I said, but if they don't, I said, one of the first countries that will, it's much larger than McDill. Yeah, well, it is much larger than McDill. But one of the first countries that will be giving dissent and protest will be Egypt. And Brother Sean had mentioned that in the chat earlier. I was, working on the fires. Send me the email, Sister Kathy. Those fires, going back, Egypt was always a major component. When they went to BRICS, do you think that the West was happy? And Egypt happily accepted BRICS. And Egypt was thinking, okay, if they're going to accept BRICS, then surely, right, Saudi Arabia is going to accept BRICS. When I look at Trump saying that he's going to go against Houthis and he's going to go against, Iran, I also look at this. I believe that he's going to try and go against Egypt. And when he goes against Egypt, guess what's going to end up happening? Mark my words. They're going to go against all of the continent of Africa.
I knew you was going to say that.
Mark my words. I said it here first. And if they go against all of the continent of Africa, guess what? It doesn't matter if you're Americans. It doesn't matter who you are, who you identify as a Western or a European nation in the West, and someone in the West. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to tell every single country or every single nation that's there, whether they're friendly, whether they're cool, it doesn't matter. France is gone. Germany gone.
Get out.
British gone. Kenya, I believe, in my opinion, Kenya will stabilize because the British will be gone. Same with Tanzania. And what that does is that's also South Africa. See, they have to think about this because do you know that they get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars? These analysts get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to think tank this. This is what they do. This is how they draw up these connections. This is how they do their papers. And they're given the same analysis. And I'm going to tell you, since I've worked with a lot of those analysts, I believe my analysis is better. But, that's the story for another day.
Sounds like the war Armageddon is on the horizon, if you ask me.
Well,
down to the Valley of Jehoshaphat.
That's right. And for Jacoba, do you want to provide context, especially with what Brother Eric had said, Valley of Jehoshaphat?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. If you look at the scriptures, Armageddon isn't now, right? Because we have to be back in the land first, according to Ezekiel chapter 38. And we know 38 and 39 is Armageddon. And so we also know that our Exodus is near, right? So all of that aligns with us having to return, which means we got to get out of Babylon because she's about to be destroyed. And it just so happens that it looks like Babylon's about to be destroyed. And it's not just by the plagues of the storms and the fires and all this, but also the terrorist attack, right? Those are going to increase. I mean, we start off January 1st with terrorism, right? In more than one place. And so all of this is, in my opinion, the prerequisites to an exodus. And I don't see nothing else other than that. And a lot of people are going to be deleted, Deagle 2025.
Excuse me.
But all of that's prophetic too, if you go and look at the four horsemen of the apocalypse. So be honest with you, like I've said before, unless the Most High show up soon, not too many people gonna make it, which is why I believe the Exodus is near. So
one thing, Brother Yakoba, I haven't gone back to that Deagle report because I think that they shut down a few years ago, or they like kind of locked it out. If I remember, that was kind of the.
It's still there, Brother Karis. I sent it to Sister Char the other day. So
Okay, it is. All right. Yeah. And you saw that dramatic decrease. Yeah, that's the reason I don't show it. I don't show it because the last time I showed the Deagle report, I got suspended from YouTube. I think it was just like the monetization suspension. And like I couldn't upload or go live for like a week.
yeah, that's why I did it on Odyssey.
Yeah. Yep. I said no.
But you notice people like Candace could get away with murder. She could talk about all this. She could say the V word. I'm like, man, but we say one little word and we shut down.
Oh yeah, but that's the censorship, and it's not just the censorship. It's this. This is the economic hitman that we go through. You think that they refine their being an economic hitman to these other countries and not defining that on us? Do you think that they haven't, refined, these pathogens, the cookies, these other lollipops and things of that nature? If they haven't done that on us, if look, Tuskegee, right? Come on. And it wasn't just Tuskegee. Tuskegee was just one of honestly probably hundreds, maybe thousands of experiments that was going on against our people back
and the
in
ones
that
that you know about.
And that's just the ones we know about.
Exactly.
So understand this is what's happening to us, this community right here, is because if the major wedge of just driving either confusion, sowing distrust, discord, and everything else, because why? Because they want us to go back being able to give one another the side eye. That's why when you look at the scriptures, and the scripture said, look, Jeremiah 50, look, we're going to flow together, right? We're going to start to ask and question and listen and communicate, relationships. Because the thing is, that's what the Most High has been putting on my heart. Hey, listen, relationships, listen, kingdom work. Because all this means to me is that as we see this happening to them, Gentiles, guess what that means for us? Well, guess what? We need to polish off our scepter holding skills. We need to polish off our throne skills. being able to have that decorum of how we treat each other in the royal format that we are supposed to. Making sure we have that royal spiritual protocol. See, let me tell you this. Last year, Brother Garth and I, when we made that trip to Burkina Faso, that trip was because we had been invited by Her Excellency Dr. Ericana Shirimbori Kwao. And, you know, one of the things that we had to really learn and understand, especially with us from the West in the diaspora here, we understand titles, but we weren't really taking the titles seriously, right? We understood, you know, okay, I get it. But that was something we had to really internalize and focus in, you know, and we started to realize this. We didn't take the title seriously because we had learned and we had lost our official standing.
Mhm.
And now we had learned the title because now we have to understand, listen, I'm talking to Her Excellency the Rebel. I'm talking to His Excellency Yakoba. I'm talking to His Excellency Eric. I'm talking to His Excellency Garth. Because why? Because you are serving in the kingdom. And here's the thing, when you understand the value that you have on your title that has been given to you, not by them, but by the Most High, guess what? You are all an ambassador of the kingdom.
Mm-hmm. What's it?
See, we haven't understood the value. That's it. We're learning our value. And I know it's hard. It's hard for people. I'm learning that too. I've had to learn and walk through that too. No, we have value that they hate us understanding how much value we truly have. It's value. Look, Yakoba, what did they say? What did they say a couple years ago about Africa and us, the diaspora, will never be wanting to get invited back? Remember that, Yakoba?
Who say what? Because I know a whole bunch of people were saying stuff, you know.
People were saying they don't want you even to go back to Africa. Remember that?
Oh yeah, and they were like, when I was saying the Bible say we're gonna go back Africa, where are we gonna go to? Right now, everybody's saying we're gonna go back to Africa, but they were accusing me for making stuff up because the Bible didn't say we was going back to Africa.
Yeah,
you know?
and then they were saying what there's going to be, and I distinctly remember this because this was in 2022, and they were saying there's not going to be any African nation that will want to, you know, even invite us back for anything or invite us to do anything. They said that in 2022. I remember that.
Well, last year there was that South African man that term, and I said you to African Americans, and I'll use that term because I find what he said very hilarious. Because where you guys would call yourself African American, as much as we can't stand that title, but he made sure to say Black Americans, right? That was deliberately done. He said, we don't want you Black Americans here. This is our land, and you have nothing to do with South Africa. This was coming out of the mouth of a white Dutch descendant African.
Yeah, because they scared, because they know when we get there, we taking the stuff back.
Yeah, they're getting kicked out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, Kate.
I knew you. I'm sorry. I knew Carabo. Sorry, Jacob. I knew Carabo was going to say that because, well, that's his home. That's his home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Look, when we go back, Cape Town can forget it as ours. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
Yo, listen. I don't care what you say. Chris Brown done danced his way into the hearts of South Africans.
Oh,
You know,
You would. You would. You would.
Oh, man. Yo,
You know
y'all
the-
don't get it. You go to any type of club on out there, any type of bar, they have the music videos. There's a Chris Brown music video in circulation every 5 minutes.
They're revitalizing his career. Because anywhere else, Chris Brown is not it. I'm sorry. I mean, it seems like his career is just like
No,
plummeted.
his career is on plateau. He is the Michael Jackson of Africa. You better believe it.
Who's Tito then?
This is after the Jackson 5. This is after.
Come on, Tito.
who said that?
Oh my goodness. Mr. Rat. I still remember the Jackson, the all American family.
But in all seriousness, like literally on Friday, tomorrow at 10 a.m., tune in to Exploring the Motherland as I explain how Macron keeps on putting his foot in his mouth with his comments about Chad and Senegal. Like their back is up against the wall, and Macron is literally making Europe look foolish.
Yeah, he said they wouldn't be independent if it wasn't for France.
Yeah, he's like, you didn't get a thank you. You didn't get a thank you. A thank you for what?
Dang.
Yeah.
Should have been there in the first place.
Yep.
Do you know what? I love these people just, like you said, putting their foot in their mouth. Just keep doing it. It's so hilarious. I love it. Because we're living in the moment where it says like the books are open.
Yeah.
They're literally showing everything. Sorry, Jacoba.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay.
Don't make me keep
my
talking.
question is, and this to Brother Karras, what changed? Because Senegal, Chad, all of these West African countries are now making a shift. Yeah, Ivory Coast.
Because let me tell you this.
Ibrahim Traore, I'm sorry.
We got down on our knees and we said, we want you back. Come back. Look, we were putting all sorts of, we had Keith Sweat, we had Johnny Gill, we had, the LeVerts. Look, we had all them, man. We said, look, we can't do it. Look, I can.
And look, that's true what Brother Asaph said. Ghana leaving ECOWAS says, well, I love it, man. I love it. I'm ready for us to go home now.
Literally what's happening is like Ibrahim Traore is sparking a revolution that is not, well, it's being televised, but everyone is seeing how the AES is working together, how they investigated all the colonizers, how they've been, subverting their sovereignty, and how they've been subverting all these things. And everyone is on watch now. Everyone in Africa, especially the younger folk, they have some access to the internet, and they're being inspired. And even like Ibrahim Traore literally spoke at the Ghanaian president's inauguration, and Tinubu was there, and I believe Ruto was there too.
Yes.
And he literally spoke the fear into them, because they all were literally, cheering for him, and they all saw what a real leader looks like. So now everyone's inspired.
Yep.
So, God, do you think Nigeria gonna get rid of Tinubu?
Oh, yes, they are, because they are tired of him and they know he's an op. And so the same thing with Ruto. Like, Ruto is literally,
I can't stand that man.
People are getting deleted right now in Kenya and being kidnapped for speaking out against him, and they have it on video. He's even admitted to it. I mean, Nigeria and Kenya, definitely the people are going to, kick them out. I believe so. It's going to happen soon.
What ended up happening prophetically? The young lions, right?
Yeah.
The young lions, Judah, went back we went back and we literally I I get
Right.
overwhelmed.
Words
I
out.
get
Get the
overwhelmed.
words out. It'll come. It'll come.
I get overwhelmed just understanding that the favor that the Most High had on Garth and I just to show up in that delegation. I get overwhelmed. The favor that the Most High has
it's surreal.
on QTUA with not just Burkina Faso, but with Sahel, when we talk about Mali and Niger, and we talk about now you have Chad, and now you're about to have Senegal, and now you're about to have the Ivory Coast. Look, ECOWAS is done. ECOWAS is done.
Yeah.
And
so, Karis,
go ahead.
Did y'all get to meet Ibrahim Trail?
Yep.
Yeah, I fist bumped him.
He fist bumped him.
Cool.
I could have, but I didn't listen to him.
I said,
"I'll come over here. Come over here." I was like, I want to be in the front.
I said I was gonna fist bump him. I didn't care, if I got shot. Yeah, I took a bullet. Yeah. Look at this Negro right there, bleeding all over the place.
But I fist bumped him.
I fist bumped him, and then I was the first one to fist bump him. That was slick because I knew everybody was trying to get down, to get their little photo op. I stayed right at the top where the doors are open, and I strategically located myself right there.
Yeah, man. I feel so foolish. I feel so foolish for that. Honestly, I should have listened to Karis. He's like, "Come, Garth, over here. Come here. Just stand here. We're gonna get."
So Ibrahim seems to be the hero within the Black community worldwide right now. Wouldn't you say so?
Oh yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like it.
Go ahead. Well, you see, one day I was walking down the street in Burkina Faso, and I got punched in the chest. And then that punch hit me so hard, I said, "Who that punched me in the chest and knocked me to the floor?" And I looked up, and then you know what it was? It was the great Captain President Ibrahim Traore. I guarantee you. I bet you that's true.
We're making it. This is history. This is going to be in the chronicles of, I don't know what book it will be called. I don't know, the Chronicles of Judah or something like that. But this is like I said, the Bible, they call it the Bible, but it literally is the never ending story, because the Bible only shows you where we are now. This is going to continue. We've got 1,000 years worth of what's to come that we're going to be writing, and poetry and songs and our experiences here and our transition going over there. This is amazing. This is amazing. Our ancestors looked forward to seeing this day. When we hear when we read the scriptures, we see Jeremiah and Isaiah and Ezra, literally Ezra's speaking of this time. They wanted to see this. All they could do was see what they could see. What are you laughing about? All they could do was...
I'm sorry. I was laughing at Sister Benita say Brother Karis didn't wash that hand for a month. After that.
I was going to say something. I was like, yeah, listen, I took a tip from my Gentile brothers and sisters on out there. I had that thing wrapped in a plastic bag. That hand was.
And I'm sorry.
And it's time to chop it off now. If you kept that thing in a bag for a month,
point out someone's comment real quick. Joseph Connell says the land of Ham. No, sorry, sir. That land is where our ancestors walked.
Brother God.
You said the land of Ham.
That's not the land of Ham, sir.
Yeah, that was right.
It was always supposed to be the land of Shem. Ham was never meant to go in there.
They always in the camps. And the camps do that a lot. They call Ibrahim a Hamite, right? And some of these other guys call him a Hamite. I'm like, do you not know that's the Lamnim territory, which was peopled by Jews? They don't even know the history of the continent.
Do you really expect them to?
They don't know the history of, the Songhai Empire. I believe I'm saying
the Songhai.
We have a resident expert. I don't need to say nothing. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, that's where the Songhai Empire was. Literally the
Balad El Sudan.
Exactly. But yes, exactly. Literally the Sahel, like literally our ancestors were in that area. I mean, and they took on different kingdoms, and they had to, you know, a lot of them converted to Muslim because of the sword and because of the Inquisition. Please do some history, do some research.
Even just Deuteronomy 28 literally says that they will be converted to the gods you have not known, gods of wood and stone. I mean, come on, what did you think that? And the way I see it, like, okay, so all of you who want to be who worship that dead strip, you know, the strip that you find on the Matchbox, if you want to worship that land, go ahead over there, go worship that land. That burnt up piece of that place is drier than my foot bottom. Keep it, stay yourself in there. I don't care. I'd rather have the Garden of Eden, the lush fields, the roaming mountains, everything you could ever possibly want and need, desire is in there, and things that you don't even know. But you want to go, you want that dead piece of thing? Go take it. There ain't no gold there. Ain't no silver. They don't even have water. So take it. Take it. In order for that place to survive, the whole world has to feed it. When the scripture literally says that the world will be fed by his land. His land. What land was parted after his people was taken from it? Why are people so stupid? It gets me so mad. No, it really does get me so mad. I'm sorry.
N300 is saying my Y DNA is from Burkina Faso. You hit the genetic lottery. Congratulations. Down for a free, I wouldn't say free, but you know, but for a Burkina Faso, Burkinabe citizenship. You get citizenship through Burkina Faso.
So let me ask
y'all. The resources. Sorry, Nicole, but oh, good Lord. The resources and everything, and people are fighting over this land. A Roman land? Really?
Where would y'all want to go if the Exodus happened today?
Oh.
You know, I was thinking Tanzania. Tanzania is good. It is. But I was also over there, you know, when Garth and I flew from Lomé, Togo, that the beaches were beautiful. And it was like,
I was thinking east as well.
Yeah. Well, that's west. That's technically west. The red sand there it bumps up. It just bumps up right to the Gulf of Guinea, or, you know, the Atlantic Ocean. And yeah, it is beautiful.
Where are you talking?
Yeah.
Karis, sorry, where was you talking?
I was just talking on the Gulf of Guinea. So whether that's
no, I said I want to go east. I want to go east.
Yeah. So if you do Tanzania, you could do even the Seychelles, the Comoros. Those are islands. You could do Madagascar. You can do Mozambique. You could do you could do Kenya, but you know, at your own peril.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah, I like the water. I do like the water, and you know, again, the hurricanes originate, you know, from there. The hurricanes don't form there. You see what I'm saying? They originate there. So it's a very lush area, especially in the times that you're visiting those areas. Yeah, and I know South Africa is very nice too. Absolutely. But I just can only go off of and speak for what I've personally witnessed.
Where would you go, Yakova?
I'm still debating, but I think I'm gonna just go and take over Cape Town.
Take over.
Yeah, I'm gonna take over Cape Town.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a refuge for all our people.
Kick them people out. Kick them people out.
You got it.
I might have to join you in that. I think I will happily. We did say we was gonna be deporting some people. We was gonna be the immigration. Yeah, I will happily do that.
She's the immigration control officer.
Yes, okay. Me and Yakoba did say we was gonna do that. That was a few years back. I have not changed my mind on that.
Me neither.
Go back to Europe.
Yeah. The only ones we'll let the servants stay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. They have to. How do we have him? Affirmative action. Man. and surprisingly, the Most High actually does have affirmative action. He actually does in the scriptures. So we're not to vex the stranger.
No. Carabo said he'll be joining us as well, Jacob. I just wanted to add that in.
Yeah, so
that's good.
Look. See, the Gentiles, when they saw that fire on Pacific Palisades, they said, I'm going with them. I forget this.
Look, they scared of Ibrahim Trail. Wait till we get there. It's ain't gonna be nothing nice.
Oh, there's gonna be some new days happening.
Troy, man, that man was light work compared to what we got.
Yeah,
because it's like we know you. We
exactly
know you.
Exactly.
What they don't understand, we know them better than they know themselves.
Oh yeah.
Like, who do you think was looking after your children? It's not us. We know you.
So Brother Eric said he got kicked out, Brother Kerr.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know how that happened. If you want to come back on in, it may have been like an internet connection or something. But I'll do need to get some final thoughts because I got to get up on out of here.
Yeah, right. Okay, Eric, he kicked you out.
No, I didn't. No, I did. Believe it or not, I read the comment sections and I saw that he left. Usually, people get kicked out, right, and then they can come back into the studio, and I just click them on in. That's StreamYard's kind of wonky.
Why are you stuttering, bro?
Oh, it really does literally happen sometimes. But I'll say my final words. Shalom, everyone, and our redemption is nigh. And follow Faith and Fitness by Garth. I'll put it in the chat. Thank you.
Exactly. When you need to run from them fires, when the doctrine says flee, look, you need to look. And that's the whole thing, right? Our bodies are what? They're the temple. So we need to start to understand that as the Most High has given us our temple. Okay? Because we may be put in that position. And I know we are all dealing with some sort of, physical ailments and things of that nature. But here's the thing. Start right now. If you need to get, things worked on, if you need to talk to your doctor, your physician, do that now. Do that while you're able to do it.
Because them fires were actually started by somebody's like the Christmas dinner.
Absolutely.
Came out.
All right. Let's get the final comments in, and then
All right, I'll go. First. So, okay, go ahead, Sister Chantel.
Yeah, because you should stay on, mate. Not a little bit longer. Otherwise, I'll talk forever. It's so good that we all came on here. I had fun, and I can't wait to see everybody back home. I can't wait to be back home. I can't wait to just live in righteousness, and just righteousness being living rightfully, and just living, not existing, not trying to survive, but actually living and appreciating the blue skies, the grass, the soft grass, and the cool crystal water, everything that we take for granted and everything that we don't even have, that these people have. For me, it's like, I don't understand why you're fighting so hard to keep hold of what you shouldn't even be ruling over. You've messed up the earth. This is the legacy of everything you've done. You can't continue ruling. Your rulership means that the world is broken. The clouds, the skies are gray. There's smog everywhere. You pursue money over substance. It's like nothing about you as a people, and I say as a people general, because the Most High deals with them as a nation. So I'm doing the same, minus obviously the few individuals who are righteous. But as a people, you can't be trusted. So I don't understand why you're fighting. The way that they go on, Yakoba and Karis, I'm just going to say this, the way they go on, you would think that they fight so hard to be, no, we're going to be, we're going to be ruling, and Jesus is right. And I'm like, do any of you are any of you sitting in the Houses of Parliament? Are any of you presidents and prime ministers or anything like that? The way you carry on, you lot would think that the way you hold up Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, you lot would think that somehow you know each other, that you guys are all cool. They hate you just as much as they hate us. In fact, they probably hate you even more, because in their eyes, they do, because it's like, you're white, why are you poor?
Well,
they know
now
they did
feeling
to
the
us.
treat. Yeah, they're now feeling that treatment. Yeah, thank you, Sister Chantel. I'm
Thanks
sorry.
you. Bye.
I gotta I gotta interject. All right. Brother Yakoba.
All right, I'm gonna make it short. So, to my Jamaican family out there, y'all know I love you. Be honest with you, I think you all are the ones we need, because y'all have that fire in you, right? Y'all the ones we need to help, do what we got to do when we get back to the continent. That Micah 5:8, I guarantee you is y'all.
Yes,
So that's all I got. Love y'all, family. Peace out. Thanks, Brother Kerry.
Thank you, Brother Yakoba. All right, you can get Brother Yakoba's book, True Jerusalem, over at Amazon.com. Visit Amazon.com, True Jerusalem. You can also pick up The Rise of Africa, The Continent, the Diaspora, and BRICS. And, the Most High gave some fantastic insight of what we're seeing right now, and that provides a context of what we're going to be looking at here in this near and dear future, because if they're even trying to rebuild here in the United States, well, that takes resources, and those resources are now very, very, very limited. So with that said, family, again, thank you for your support. Your support is tremendous. You can do so either at Cash App at $COVAWK1, or Zelle or PayPal at Karacy@MSN.com. And with that said, family, I have to get up on out of here. I love you all, and I'm praying for you all. And please be safe on out there, because here's the thing. Carry the name of Yahushua HaMashiach everywhere you go. Hallelujah. So with that, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom. Peace and blessings. Yasharel.